Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us again for another awesome conversation. I am here with my girl, Taylor,
Hey guys.
and exciting news on my side. I am done with my wedding season. This last weekend was my final wedding of the season, and it's a little bit early to end, but I'm honestly so ready for it. Taylor, what about you?
Mm. I was only going to have one more wedding this coming weekend, actually in Dallas. But I just booked another last minute wedding in 3 weeks as well. So I have two left to do. And actually, I feel like I am normally done in October. And so this is extending me into November, which is very uncommon for me. But it'll be a really beautiful one. And I'm really excited. And it's actually one of those ones where it fell into my lap because a stylist that a planner likes to hire. I had worked with her over the summer, and it wasn't her wedding, so I didn't realize she had like another company as a wedding planner. And she reached out, and in on my contact form it says like referred by, so you can type in like how you know about me. And she's like, "We worked together," and I was like, "This name isn't ringing a bell. I've never worked with this company." And then I did a Google search and I found her photo, and I was like, "Oh, I know exactly who this is. I did not know." So it's like just like the epitome of like you really never know when a referral is going to come. And so just kind of going into each wedding with like an A game mentality, which is actually something we talked about in today's interview. So our guest today is Alex with Vowed on Film, and he's honestly just such a joy of a human. So much fun chatting with him. His work is incredible. He's doing so much in his business to kind of catapult himself into that luxury market, which we love for him. And so we're going to talk all about what he's been doing in order to make that vision a reality in his business. Kelly, anything to add? Sorry, I'm very chatty this morning.
No, Alex, he is such a joy. He has so much personality. You'll hear that he actually spent some time acting before he became a filmmaker, and it definitely shows. It was a really great conversation. We know a lot about Alex's business from him being a mastermind alumni, and we're excited for all of you to learn about his business and the growth that he's experienced in just 3 years.
This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petrinovich,
And I'm Kelly Gilster of 618 Studios.
and we are on a mission to help filmmakers level up their businesses and their craft so they can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here.
Well, Alex, we are so excited to have you on the podcast today. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing great. Recovering. We had a gender reveal yesterday for our third baby, which got two girls. Finally getting my boy. So let's do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun having some friends and family over, and it was quite exhausting at the end of the day, and still kind of recovering too. So, but other than that, it's great. Excited to be here, and yeah, can't wait to see what value I can provide and help and encourage people out there.
Yeah, well,
Amazing.
congratulations. It's so exciting.
It is. I'm so pumped. Like, I don't know, you probably saw the video, but any of you listening and watching, you can check out my Instagram stuff. You can see my reaction. It's quite awesome.
Yeah, two girls and a boy. That is very exciting. Well, Alex, Taylor and I really do know the ins and outs of your business as you were in our founding mastermind group over the summer. But for the listeners, kind of paint a picture of, who you are, where you're based, how long have you been in business, just a little bit about your journey.
Yeah. So, all right, how much time I got? No, I'm just kidding. So fun fact, I was actually in front of the camera for a long time. I pursued acting for a while. And it was kind of cool to kind of see everything come to full circle when I met my wife. We got married, and I'm originally from Miami. I lived out in LA for a little while and then moved to Vero Beach, which is like a small, little beach town on the east coast of Florida. And I'm like, what am I going to do here? Like, this is not Miami. It's not LA. I'm just scratching my hand. She's like, well, hey, I got a camera in the closet. Why don't you just like pick it up and see what happens? Okay, cool. So I actually started with photography. This was back in 2019. And, the passion started growing from there. And then towards the end of 2020, just saw like the opportunities for video. I'm just like, let's do both. So, and ever since then, just honestly, like my passion has been growing so much more for video. Still do photos, but let's face it, those family portrait sessions at weddings can be very stressful. So I just try to focus mostly on video. But yeah, born and raised, well, the rest is history, and born and raised in Miami. Come from Cuban parents. So it's kind of fun because Hispanics, like, well, if like they're mostly like Hispanic, especially like in LA, this was really fun, like working restaurant jobs, right? Trying to pursue the dream. And, they're talking Spanish in the kitchen. And here I walk in, I look white. So, coming in and they're talking about, and all of a sudden I just say something like speak fluently in Spanish. I'm like, no, güey, ¿cómo usted habla español? Like, how do you speak Spanish? I'm like, well, I'm from Miami, which is kind of like South America part 2, right? So yeah. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. Married, have an awesome, beautiful, supportive wife, 2 little girls, as I mentioned earlier. We got our baby boy on the way. Former athlete as well, too. Like, I don't know. That's just scratch the surface a little bit. And yeah, been doing wedding videos now. This is my 3rd year. So next year, beginning of next year will be my 4th year, starting my 4th year. So I'm very excited. Yeah, I hope that was good.
That was great. Yes, and we got to learn even a little bit more that I feel like Taylor and I did not know about you. I had no idea about your LA journey, and that's cool. Awesome.
You can, if you want to know more about that, you can ask. I am an open book, ladies. We can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am actually so not surprised that you spent time in front of the camera just because of your like presence on camera, your energy, all of that. If you guys, you're missing out if you're not watching on YouTube. And Alex was not lying. His wife is such a cutie. When you guys posted, so Alex actually just did a really amazing wedding in Lake Como and was like posting pictures of your wife, and I was like, dang, what a fox. So you guys are such a cute couple too.
Thank you. Yeah. Babe, you heard that? Yeah. Thank you. That's kind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was, so fun to have you in our mastermind, and just going into your 4th year, that is such an incredible, just the growth that you have experienced. Tell us a little bit about that. How, what is it for you that has allowed you to see such growth in just 3 years heading into your 4th year?
Ooh, good one. Good one. How much time I got for this one? Man, this is a good one. I will say, first and foremost, I gotta say that like it's just been like a huge blessing for me because my wife, she's a hairstylist, so she's been doing hair for like almost 10 years. And we now also own her salon, right? So we got like 3 businesses going on, which is crazy. But when I first started, I feel like I got a major step ahead of the game because obviously all these women are coming and getting their hair done. It's like, oh my gosh, like, hey, my husband's doing this. Oh my gosh, I'm getting married, blah, blah, blah. So got a very fast start to that. And I just got to give glory and praise to the man upstairs. Really just been able to bless me and my family, and none of this it wouldn't be possible, without that. And that's a huge part in my life and in my business. Just kind of portraying just those beliefs of just and what am I trying to say? Spirit of excellence, right? Like serving, going above and beyond, and just really trying to love people as much as possible. It's never easy. There's always challenges that arise from that. But that's first and foremost. I have to give honor and glory to the man upstairs. But yeah, I've just dove right in From the beginning, I want to say year one was just getting my feet wet. No idea what I was doing. It's like, hey, we got a wedding. It's like, sure, give me $300. I'll do that. Like, what did I'm sure we've all been there, right, folks?
Yep.
So started from there. And as I started, diving deeper, started diving heavily into education, like a madman. Like anytime I saw something new and shiny, I was like, I feel like I need that. And sure enough, I would go and do it. But I would always find value in it and just kind of start compiling what worked for me and what my vision was for my craft and my business. And obviously, as time goes by, we're always evolving, right? There's always new things coming into play. But ever since year one, just been heavily diving into that. So I feel like I was actually pre-thinking this in the shower the other night. I was like, all right, when I go on the show, what's kind of like my spiel, right? Like what's kind of like my monologue here, right? Enter the old actor in me. Not that I'm old, but I'm just saying like former actor in me. That let's clarify that, guys. I was like, man, so year one was a lot of just getting my feet wet. Year two was heavily more education, like trying to kind of get a sense of where I wanted to go in this wide industry of ours. I think there's so many avenues that you can go down in. And just started diving in heavily into that. And then this year three was, I felt like I finally got clarity and vision of where I wanted to go exactly. And I dove in even more into like educational, workshops. So that's just been year three and it's just been crazy. And if I can just be transparent, like it also got to a point where I had to take a step back because I just felt so overwhelmed, not just with education, but you're constantly getting email alerts and podcast alerts and hey, this new gear came out or this and that. And like, you're seeing all your peers posting and this and that. And it's just like trying to balance life as well. And it just got so overwhelming that I felt like I needed to step back and I was drowning and I needed to come back up to the surface and just catch my breath. And I was able to find another creative outlet, which if we want to talk about that, we could talk about that later. But I found a new avenue where I can just bring back like the old actor in me and just kind of like have fun and just be creative, but just didn't have that pressure, right? Of gotta create this reel. I gotta create this, I gotta go into like Final Cut and create this awesome footage and edit it awesome so I can look great on social media or however you want to label that, right? But now, especially after going through our mastermind, I have been rejuvenated, and I think my vision and clarity, it's just clearer more than ever. Of like, this is the market I want to head to. These are the things I need to do. Let's go for it. Now it's kind of like that Kobe Bryant Mamba mentality of just like I see it now. I can see it. It's not foggy anymore. I'm coming at it. I'm so pumped because I've just been doing all the little things that you, Taylor, and Kelly have talked about in the mastermind and in the course, and everyone else that I've been learning from as well. Like just putting it on a little box and just crafting my own style and just kind of making my way into, giving myself a little, seat at the table, right? In the luxury market and stuff. So yeah, I know I kind of went into like waves there for you guys. So tell me if I didn't fully answer your question, let me know.
No, I love it. When you were actually like towards the beginning of your answer, I actually had to like grab my pen. You might have like heard me like scribbling because you said a phrase that I really like and I kind of want to spend like a little bit of time on. You come at it with a spirit of excellence. I thought that was gold. I was like, that's like such a great way to like put it and like is what sets people apart in the industry. Like some people just kind of go through the motions kind of like a zombie. Like they're just in their businesses, just checking off their to-do list. Kind of coming at it more as like a job. Like if you were to like go work at Starbucks, something like that. But like having a spirit of excellence, I do feel like is what helps set some people apart and is something that I can tell you do really well. And kind of identifying where your strengths lie. So, I mean, I'm assuming like one of your strengths is like being a people person. I have to assume that is something that you're kind of leveraging along the way.
Yeah, yeah. Also too, like acting paid a great way for that. Believe it or not, I used to be really shy growing up until like I think like towards the end of high school, junior, senior year. That's really when I kind of started to come out of my shell a lot more and just gaining confidence in myself. But acting definitely paved the way for that. Like you have to you got to get out of your head. And I think that's one of the greatest obstacles that you know a lot of people can't have, especially when what we do, right? A lot of us are just behind the camera, behind a desk, editing away. So you don't get a whole lot of chances to socialize, unless you're being intentional about it and trying to do that on a weekly basis, not including a wedding day, right? Um, but yeah, and obviously working retail jobs, right? Worked Hollister back in the day, working restaurants, being a bartender, server, just gaining people skills, right? I think that goes such a long way. Um, and it just builds, like you said, like that spirit of excellence. Like, granted, it's a struggle sometimes, right? Like it's not always perfect. I may fall short moments here and there, but that is my driving force to make sure I show up and just have fun for the couple. No matter what's going on in my life, I show up and I am just goofing around. I'm making them laugh. A lot of random things are said. Like I hear back the audio of what I'm saying, like, what was I thinking? Like, why would I say that? But it made them laugh. And we got a moment out of that. So, and it's not just the couple, but the family members, right? Like just I remember clearly one bride, she told me that, hey, I just want to thank you because one of my bridesmaids, she struggled a lot with confidence in herself for years. But you made her feel so confident about herself that day. Like she was so grateful and so honored that you just made everybody feel comfortable and like just so welcoming and so like upbeat or whatever, and like that really stuck to me. It's like sometimes it's not just only about the bride or the groom, right? It's their bridal party. You don't know what some of them are going through, who you can impact, family members, friends, like you just don't know. And I think just showing up with a loving heart and just willing to serve people, to our highest capability, that goes a long way. And that definitely helps me out a lot. I may not be the greatest filmmaker or technical person in our industry, but I will say, like, I feel like I can confidently say my people skills, it's come with time and experiences in life, but I feel like that really does help me do what I do.
Yeah, that's so great. Yeah, I love just being able to, for those listening, when you head into that wedding day, it's so much about being client focused. But again, remember that those clients have so many loved ones there too. And seeing you serve their loved ones as well is really what is going to make you memorable, right? And those bridesmaids are going to remember that. That's, you're heading into a wedding day. If you think about it, there are endless referral opportunities for you right there, right? You have the whole creative team, you have the client, you have their bridal party, you have, you don't even know where things could come from. There's been times where I've been pulled aside by an aunt saying, wow, you dress so nicely. I am so impressed with how you conduct yourself on a wedding day. You never know, like that was in March. That could maybe turn into a potential booking when her, kids get married in a couple of years. You never know. So, really going at, start to finish. And I think that's why we are so exhausted after a wedding day. Yes, our job is physically demanding, but it is also so emotionally demanding too. And not in a way that it feels demanding at the time, right? Especially for people that are maybe more extroverted or just have more of that built-in servant's heart. But you kind of leave the wedding day and you're just like, oh my gosh, I just need to be like mind numbed on the couch for like 30 minutes to come back from everything that I've poured into all of these people throughout a wedding weekend or even on the wedding day.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I remember listening to a podcast episode, you kind of talking about this with this bridesmaid. It reminded me of this podcast episode I listened to with Joel Serrato, and he's a luxury filmmaker here in California. or luxury photographer here in California. And he told a story of just like, again, like that excellence and just him looking for ways to serve those beyond just the client. And I think I just remember this story so clearly. The guests were all invited kind of into the tent, and they're sort of like looking for their seats, and he kind of was just kind of sitting there taking it in, seeing what moments he could grab. And he kind of saw a girl that looked a little bit out of her comfort zone. She just sort of looked uncomfortable. She wasn't really sure like what was going on. It seemed like she didn't really know many people there. And he was like, she was dressed so beautifully. And I just kind of wanted to take that moment to pull her out of that situation and just make it a comfortable situation for her. So he's like, I just pulled her out right outside the tent. I'm like, your dress is beautiful. Can I grab a few portraits for you? You know, and he just like really built her up and just kind of had this little mini 3-minute session just to kind of like break the ice for her before sending her back into the tent. And she just thanked him so much. And I'm like, that is true. That is like, that's going at a wedding day with like that level of excellence.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's gold. That's gold.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So nice. And then, so kind of when you were also talking, I took 2 notes. Sorry.
I'm glad you're taking notes. That means I'm doing great then. Because if you're taking notes, I feel accomplished. Good.
I'm like Alex is here with all the amazing little nuggets. I'm bullet pointing my little piece of paper that I have. You kind of alluded to this concept of having a clear vision and knowing where you want to go. The fog has cleared. Now you know. So we're actually just coming off of our booking boot camp, which is a free workshop that we put on for wedding filmmakers. We actually had a lot of photographers in there too, which was so fun. But in there, we talked about having a vision for our business and knowing kind of what the future is going to hold for us so that we can pursue that. So I would love to hear about your vision for your business and maybe some steps that you're taking in order to get there.
Yeah. So luxury market, that's kind of where I want to go right now. What style per se in that market, that is just constantly evolving. But the steps I'm taking, it's education, people. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, even, obviously I got our course, right? I did our mastermind, and I'll be transparent. There's still some videos, some modules I haven't been able to go through yet, but I know they're there. So when I do have that time where I'm caught up on editing or whatever, I can sit there and I'm just like, I have this in my back pocket. Let's continue to just fill our tank, right? And see what I can take and apply. So doing that, it's the educational stuff. Started diving more into styled shoots. I don't have, from the weddings that I've been doing previously, I've started to, at least like middle of this year, I guess April, May, we can say like some of those weddings have started to kind of pave the way of where I want to head. And there's certain things that I can take from those and like share on social media, right? Because I'm like, okay, this is going to give the vision of, to other vendors, planners, whatever. Hey, this is where he's heading. This is kind of his style. Perfect. But I need the help of styled shoots. And I've heard from you guys, and other educators that styled shoots are key. Like, if you don't have that content, go to these styled shoots. Like, it doesn't matter if it's not a quote unquote real wedding. It doesn't matter. It's what's visually, you can show your work and planners can see that. And they can decide, hey, they have a similar style to me. Hey, let me reach out. I'm in a pickle. I got to like ask them, hey, can you come help me or something? You just never know. But I feel like you have to set the stage up for yourself to do that. And just taking all those necessary steps, where right now I'm kind of building my portfolio and I know the steps that I need to take once I compile enough that I feel confident, right? So recently did a styled shoot. I was in Italy for a wedding. I did another wedding like a couple weeks ago. Well, 2 weekends now in a row. I did 2 weddings where I started to apply the things that I was learning from you guys and just other things I've learned to really start to kind of, it's entering that luxury mindset, right? As cliche as it may be, it's a certain mindset you need to have showing up on the day, how you dress, how you speak, how you compose yourself. You can still be yourself, believe me. I don't stop being myself, well, there's a certain way, there's certain moments where I can like inject Alex to the day, you know? And then there's other times where like, hey, as much as you want to say that joke or whatever, let's keep our composure right now. Let's keep the ball rolling, because planner's like looking at the timeline like, hey, we got to get going. You know what I mean? I'm like, I just can hang out all day. So it's just taking those necessary steps. That's what I'm doing right now. It's building my portfolio, continuing to do a lot of education, because you don't know what you don't know, and we're not born knowing everything. You can never get to a point where you know everything. And then just start building those relationships with planners, and like build that strategy of like, okay, now I have something to show for it now. Hey, I'm Alex, whatever, you know, the spiel may be. Let me know if you know, whatever you want to ever like hire me. Not necessarily like that, because that's the big no. But you get where I'm saying, guys. It's like just being ready to prepare myself to present myself to them, where they can say, hey, Alex is professional. He's legit. Seems like a cool, great guy. And, you know, not show up and not do it the other way where I don't really have a whole lot to show for it yet, but can you give me a chance, please? I don't want that. I want to wait till like, I'm kind of like in the gym, right? I'm training, I'm getting ready for the fight. Once I got everything ready and it's like game day, it's on, like, let's go. So those are kind of the steps I'm taking. Obviously, I want to enter, again, the luxury market. That's my goal. And just doing all the little business things too, which I'm not the greatest, but thankfully to you and Taylor, Kelly, I've been learning how to improve in that side of my business, because that's where I lacked, you know? So yeah, those are the steps I'm taking right now. And yeah, to be continued.
Yeah. No, that's so great. I mean, I feel like people ask us a lot, like, what's the trick, or like, what's a hack, or like, what's one thing I can do? And it's like, honestly, like, there's not, like, it's not like a quick, like, magic thing that you do in your business. It's like improving all of the areas that matter the most, and then you will see the results. Like, you can't go to the gym one time and then expect to be like ripped, you know? Like, it's like you have to have all the things in place. Yeah. And so that's like really like Kelly and my like our superpower, like I would say, like as educators, is like we see like the bigger picture. We see your business as like a game of chess, and we know how to like help you manipulate the pieces to like get to where you want to go, because everyone's business is different. Like you just filmed this beautiful wedding in Lake Como, like you're, you know, venturing into more like destination stuff, and like whereas other people may not want to do that. So the things that you are going to do in your business to get to those goals are going to look vastly different from someone who wants to maybe just become like the premium or the premier option in their local market, which is equally as amazing and can be just as profitable. So with that segue, so subtle, I would love to hear about your experience in Lake Como. I just thought we were following along on your Instagram stories, and we loved keeping up with what you were doing. So just tell us everything. How did that go? What was your game plan going into it?
Yeah. And just to piggyback off real quick from what you were saying about like improving and stuff like that. I learned this, I forgot from where, but it's just improving 1% every day, whether that is like just filming or business side of things or intrapersonal things. I think it's important to just take it one step at a time and not overwhelm ourselves with thinking too much about tomorrow, because that starts to kind of create a little bit more anxiety and overwhelming, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But I think focusing on today, just improving 1% every single day towards your goal, like that's key. Let me sip a little bit of Starbucks here. Courtesy of Level Up. No, see,
yeah.
plug in, guys, plug in. Appreciate that. I needed this today.
Yeah, inside of our booking boot camp, we loaded a Starbucks gift card on there, and so we've been seeing lots of people going and getting Starbucks on Level Up this morning, which is so fun. And really quickly, sorry, I feel like we're all over the place on this, but there's so many good things that we're talking about.
You're good. I told you before, I'm like, I can talk about anything. So just Taylor, keep me on track, okay?
Yeah, Taylor, keep us on track. We're the storytellers.
Yeah, keep us on track, Taylor.
You're like the teacher with her ruler, like smacking it on our desk, like enough.
So no, I was gonna say is gosh, when you were talking a little bit about how you were feeling so burnt out, right? Because you were like, oh, I need to be posting this reel, or do I need to be on this platform, or do I need to do this? It's like, that is so exhausting to try to chase all the things. Okay, do I need to go onto TikTok? Do I need to post all these other trendy reels that everyone else is posting? Or like, you're just kind of like waving in the wind of whatever direction with no clear pathway. And I've been through this in my business too, and it's terrible to like not really have a clear vision in mind on where you want to go. And so that's why I feel like it's so nice to have this framework, a roadmap to almost simplify, right? I feel like that is like one thing that Taylor and I feel like it's like, let's simplify. Let's pour time into things that really, really matter. And like, this is the groundwork that we're going to lay for your business, and then now and go. And it's like, I can feel the relief on students when they realize they don't have to do 50 things. They just need to do 5 of these things really, really well. And so, I don't know, that's just one thing that I feel like is really, really powerful, and honestly helps from that burnout.
Exactly. Yes. And use Taylor's line here to segue back into Taylor's question, right?
Yes.
Kind of saying what you were talking about right now is focusing on, a little bit at a time, preparing for that Lake Como. When we booked that like over a year ago, and I remember it was one of like those Facebook group things, right? That's like hit or miss, right? Because you're like in an ocean of people just spamming, right? Like, hey, consider me. But I remember it like it was yesterday. Literally, we had just arrived to South Carolina because we're going to film a wedding there, and then for some reason I was just like, let me check Facebook groups. Like, we just got out of the car. Like, let me just check my phone real fast. Sure enough, that's the first thing I see. I'm like, I reached out. Next thing you know, she's reaching back out like, hey, super excited. The trick was, well, the caveat to that was, I hope I used that word properly. I always hear that word used. I'm like, I want to use it one day
I
on a
think you're right.
podcast because it's right. I think so. We'll just roll with it. Let's go with it. She was like, hey, I'm just looking for a duo that does video, and I'm also looking for like hair and makeup. I'm like, I looked at my wife. I'm like, you want to go to Italy? Lake Como? Let's go. She's like, okay, I'll do it, whatever. And it's like, yeah, you will. So we did that. And, that week while we were in South Carolina, she like went with us and it was awesome. So from a year ago, I was already like, okay, that is going to be a massive, massive opportunity, portfolio piece. Like, I need to do everything that I can possibly afford to prepare myself for that. QN, obviously luxury, the mastermind that came in such a clutch time for me, by the way. I don't know if I ever expressed that to you, but thank you so much for following your gut on like pursuing that and making it happen. Because that was massive game changer. But preparing for Lake Como, I mean, I just did the best I could to my ability, from everything that I've been learning, and just being present in the day and trying not to overwhelm myself with, all right, we're here. Ooh, gotta get that, gotta get this, gotta that. And it's just like, so much can happen. Like, you can literally just get caught in the wave of it and get caught up in the current. And next thing you know, you're just like way out in the ocean. So I did my best to kind of stay afloat. What was really cool about it was sort of a smaller wedding. So it was kind of cool. It was a great like intro for me. It was a great way to break into this luxury destination market, connect with the planner there. I was very helpful. Not with the intentions of like, let me do this so I can be on your good side, you can refer me, but more so I saw the opportunity, which is a lot that we talked about in the mastermind, was just helping other vendors, right? Like, we're not just there to be stuck behind our camera and just film, right? Like, you got to have spatial awareness and be cognizant of, hey, other people are here to kind of, we're all had the same goal to provide this couple with an amazing, beautiful day, but we need to work together to make that happen. So I remember just helping set up, they initially they wanted to, and this is something I want to share with everybody because this was a major game changer. they originally wanted to set up the ceremony behind these trees, right? And you have Lake Como in the back, and you have these backyard trees, like literally just blocking the way. They wanted to do the ceremony there. So this was before the wedding day. I attended the rehearsal, which, yeah, it was time that my wife and I could have walked the streets or something. I was like, no. I told her specifically to the first 2-3 days, we're solely here for this wedding. Like, I am going to be tunnel vision and execute
All
this to
business.
best. Remember, Mamba mentality. Okay. And I picked up on this and was just like, it looks like y'all are getting married in your backyard back in Colorado or Kentucky or somewhere where some family members are. I'm like, this is not good. And I look to my right. I'm like, well, wait a second. Well, here's a beautiful opening. You got those beautiful, I forgot the name of the trees, the
Like the
Italian
cypress
trees.
trees. Yeah,
Yeah,
something like
cypress
that.
trees.
Yeah.
There you go. How can I forget? I was like, we came back home and became so like Italian influence. I'm like, we want trees. We need a cappuccino machine, which we've been addicted to, by the way. We'll get into that later. But I digress. I saw the opportunity. I'm like, let's give this couple the view of Lake Como. Like, you literally came across the ocean to get married here, and your ceremony is going to be in front of some trees that you can just say, oh, you got married in your backyard. Absolutely not. So I spoke to the couple like, hey, you know what? You're right. Let's do it. Like, they didn't want to be a bother to like the planner or anything. And I spoke to the planner. Obviously, she mostly spoke Italian, but she understood English. I'm like, listen, this is just a better spot for them. It just gives them the view in the back. You can see a little bit of the villa. You got the cypress trees, and you can see in the background is Lake Como. Like, come on. And it all worked out. I'm so grateful that I was bold enough in that moment to speak up, because I saw just it was a better what's the word here? Just it was going to greatly benefit the couple more, right? Like, give them something of better value and quality than here's some trees in Lake Como, but here's the view instead. So now they're gonna have that for photos and videos for the rest of their lives. And like, hey, look, there's Lake Como. Yeah, look at it in the background, So stuff like that. I was helping out all day, like photographer and the planner and just the family. Like, I did what I could, enough to not distract me from my goal, but enough to where I can be a team player. And that was super helpful. Yeah, and just prepared as much as I could, honestly, for that day and that week. And, my wife and I, we ended up making it also a vacation, and we went out and ventured after the wedding day. We had plans to go with the couple out into the town and get like B-roll of them and stuff. That didn't happen. It just ended up happening at the villa, which it was fine. You got to read the room sometimes. You can't be so selfish and like, hey, I need this for my film. No, if the couple's up for it, okay, cool. Curveball, audible, let's change it up, right? Like, what are you guys in the mood for? We did it at the villa. Perfect. No problem. We can use this for your film. But then I made it to when my wife and I went, we ventured out. I had not put my camera down. She was a little annoyed, but like, baby, I'm sorry, but this is B-roll. This is important. But in the meantime, you're looking good, girl. Let me get you walking up and down that street right there. That's beautiful,
Taylor
right?
told you to do that.
She did. And I'm so glad she was like dressing her beautiful dress and stuff. I can't wait to share that stuff too. But yeah, I just went above and beyond and just grabbed every B-roll I could. Milk the drone for sure.
Yes.
And something we talked about in Mastermind too is, just being able to be flexible and fluid like water. Like, there were certain things on the wedding day that didn't go as I expected or thought would happen. So I had to adjust, and I had to really think outside the box and be quick on my feet. Like, okay, this is not happening. Great. How do we compensate? I got all this free time. What do? I was getting B-roll of the planner setting up the reception space and the ceremony site, and also helping like, hey, can I help carry this, carry that? So in a nutshell, that's kind of how I guess you could say I went prepared for this. Did the best I could to my ability, while also being mindful of being helpful to the other vendors, and also not losing sight of the goal for me, because obviously this was a huge opportunity. And, I just wanted to go above and beyond for everybody, including the bride and groom, their family. It was so much fun. And food is not the same, guys. The food is no longer the same. I can't have pizza here in the States and be like, feel as good as I do when I was eating it in Italy. My wife took a photo after the wedding night. Literally, they had ordered pizza, and I took 3 boxes of pizza, and I'm just there like laying down, just having like the 3 boxes on me. I'm just like, this is life right now, you know? We can I'll also share that photo if you want to like drop it in the YouTube, just
Oh my
whatever you want.
gosh.
I'm not ashamed. I got you.
That's so, yeah, it's so important to be just that team player, right? And also reading the room. Reading the room is huge. Taylor and I talk about that a lot on just, I think that's sometimes a very missed opportunity from filmmakers or photographers, is just kind of knowing like where your client's comfort level is, how much you can push them, how much you need to kind of step back a little bit. Even like, so just a few weeks ago, something that we're adding onto our course, which we're really excited about, is like me filming a luxury wedding. And that's like in the editing process currently and should be out really soon. And it was a rainy wedding day. It was logistically challenging because of the weather. And they were setting out these chairs, and then it would rain, and then they would come in and wipe all the chairs, and it was taking a long time. There was over 300 guests, close to 350 guests. And so the last time, right before the guests got seated, it had kind of sprinkled again, made all the seats wet. And so the planners were out there wiping them down. Some of the rental guys were out there wiping them down. And like, I'm like, give me a towel. Like, I'm not just a filmmaker right now. I'm a whole team player. This is a very collaborative effort in order to serve the client. And so we even got behind the scenes of me like wiping down the chairs and really just explaining like, this is, sometimes we pick up other things that are outside of our job, and that's okay. And that is really what shows to that planner, you know, hey, this is why I hired this premium vendor, right? They're here supporting, you know, not only just the client, but everybody. And it sounds like you really did that as well too in Lake Como. And so I just applaud you for really making yourself stand out in that way.
Thanks. Yeah. It's not always easy. But again, it's just having that spirit of excellence and just that servanthood, like that serving heart, you know, like, and just with the intentions of being genuine and genuinely wanting to help, with no like hidden agenda of like, hey, I'm going to do this and expect something in return, or I want you to do this. I'm going to do this for you because I want this from you, type of thing. Like, throw that out the window, because you're not going to get anywhere like that, to be honest with you. Like, you genuinely, and, you know, and not just throwing shade at anybody, but if out there, like, really analyze your heart. And if you feel like sometimes you've been a little bit of guilty of that, reassess, recalibrate, you know, your mindset and your heart, and just really just be genuine about helping others, you know, whether it's the planner, florist, the couple, or just family and loved ones, right, at the wedding day. Like, just genuinely do it because you want to be good, right? You want to like extend love to them. You want to just, I don't know, just be a good person.
Be a good
just
person.
be
Yeah.
genuine, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, just no bad intentions or a hidden agenda. Like, people can read that and smell that off you like a mile away, you know? So leave that at home. Just saying.
No, it's true. That's like a total like harsh truth that people need to hear. And I don't think that's like typical of our community. Like, I feel like, especially here, like Level Up, like we've like had so many like one-on-one conversations with a lot of people in our community who listen to the podcast, follow us on Instagram or in our Facebook group, things like that. And I would say like the vast majority, like everyone's like on the right road, heart's in the right place. But it's so true. Like if you're hearing this message and you're like, oh, maybe I do need a little then.
And I love that about you and Kelly, right? Because you've built this culture and like you're communicating that. Like, you created a space where it's like, hey, we need to talk about real stuff, right? Like interpersonal things, not just, hey, this is a new gear in town, or like, hey, check out this new product we're releasing, type of thing. Like, no, you guys are like, you have genuine hearts. You really want to help us in every aspect of our business. You know, so hats off to you. You built that culture. You're building that culture, right? And I think that is so important for everyone, just to get that reminder. I'm sure a lot of people know it, and, you know, like, but it's always good, just a constant reminder, you know?
Yeah, it's so true. It's like daily you need to like keep your head in the game, keep your head in the right place. It's like with any practice that's important to you in your life, like it's like a daily thing. So we're actually, this is coming out on a Tuesday, and on Wednesday night at midnight Pacific time, the cart closes to Luxury Filmmaker Framework and Luxury Filmmaker Mastermind for our fall release, and it won't be open again for another 6 months or so. So Alex, I would love to hear from you, like if somebody's listening to this and they're kind of on the fence, or maybe this is the first time they are hearing that we have this offering in the educational space, like what would you say to them? What would be your advice?
Ooh, find so something I've learned from I mentioned earlier, I found another creative outlet. It's just kind of helped me just find something else to do other than wedding filmmaking. And that's like digital marketing. I built a brand new page for that and grown this account and just helping people learn digital marketing and stuff like that. And that I gotta say, like, find a way, find another way to create like passive income or something, right? To bring into, you got to invest in yourself. Okay. I'm just going to cut through it. You got to invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, you can't expect other people to invest in you. And you two have been such monumental helpers, right? Are we going to say, like, is that how you say it? Monumental helpers. Yeah.
That works.
Well, that works. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I told you, my brain is just so many things, and just sometimes it sounds better in here than it does when it comes out. But what I'm trying to get at is the things that I've been able to learn from you two, even just the smallest of things that you won't even realize on a wedding day. Like, you may think, like, for example, you may think you're at a luxury wedding or high-end wedding, but the chairs are not high-end or luxury. The napkins are not. The linen on the table is not. The glassware is not. Like, all these little things that now every time I go into a wedding, I'm like, I go to the table, like, not luxury. Chair,
house quality.
not luxury.
House quality.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I don't do that. High quality. Ugh, low quality. Ugh, well, at least they got me. It's okay. Just kidding. I don't do that. But for fun, I might just do a little reel and send it your way. You can share it one day. It's so helpful. Like, you literally tackle, the both of you really go into depth on just anything that you can possibly think about. Whether you want to go into luxury market or not, just in general for your business, right? So many things that I feel are also practical that you can apply. And it's not just, hey, listen to this and cool, like, go do it or something. It's like this, it's so thought out and it's so methodical and meticulous that you go step by step. And before you know it, you're tackling all these things and improving your business one step at a time. Like we talked about earlier, is that 1% better each and every single day. And granted, like I mentioned earlier too, I haven't like fully finished it, but you know what I have listened to and what I've experienced and our Zoom calls, right? Listening to other people's questions and their struggles in their business, just all of that, just being a student of the game, right? This industry, we call it a game. Just listening and applying to all that and taking what, hey, this fits in my business. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and take that, because you'll learn things and it may not apply to you at the moment or in this season of life or this season in your business. But next season, right? Things come in seasons, right? Life is about seasons. So you might be in a season right now different from me. So what I thought I couldn't apply to my business right now, you could be like, hey, that's actually very applicable to me and my business. Perfect, but just having access to the both of you with your experiences, the guest speakers that you had, also getting to like the brains of like some planners. Terrible. I forgot some of the names. I'm so sorry, but you were awesome. You know who you are. Just getting to their mindset too of what helps them. Like they also have a business, right? And where we capture the visual of the day, and it's like just like helping them, right? You know, it's like, hey, I know you busted your butt for months trying to like figure out this puzzle, and it finally all came together maybe like a week ago or something. Who knows? I got the visuals for you so you can go ahead and share and showcase what you're passionate about, what you love to do, and the experience that you give people, right? So, yeah, I hope that answers that question, because I feel like I could just go on for like ever on it.
Oh,
But
so sweet.
the value in the mastermind and the course is just, I honestly, and as cliche as it may sound, like I don't have enough words to express how valuable it is. And if you're on the fence about it, or if you're considering it, you know, Taylor and Kelly are just some amazing people. You can reach out to them. They will answer you. They will answer all the questions you may have. I am someone to ask 1,000 questions. I probably annoyed Kelly and Taylor at some point. I think Taylor, I got on the phone with you, right?
Yeah,
Before
we
signing up or
did.
something. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I talked her ear off,
No, it was
if you can't
great.
tell, right? So I asked my questions, right? And, they're so thorough. There's no gatekeeping, which I love. They're super honest. They're very open about the process. And there's ways that they're willing to help because they genuinely want to help others level up their business, right? No pun intended. Um, but yeah, I can't say great enough things. I think it's one of those things in life where you have to experience for yourself, because the way I may interpret it, it just won't do it justice. But it is 1,000% valuable, and it's really helped give me the clarity and vision that I needed. Like I said earlier, it came in clutch time for me. It was like overtime, like triple overtime. I'm like wore out. I'm like, I don't know where else to go with this business. I'm so drowned. I'm like dead tired. And y'all just came in and just gave me like like the second win. I'm like, oh snap. Like everything just clicked for me right there. I was like, let's go. And I don't know, guys. If my enthusiasm, my passion for it doesn't, like, I'm not trying to convince anybody, but if it doesn't hint to you that it's like like you must think about it, at least join it, whatever the case is. I don't know what else to tell you, but Kelly and Taylor, absolutely amazing. They have the heart for it. They have a genuine heart behind it, and I think you can't teach that. You can't teach that out there. Yeah, I'm gonna start getting all emotional here. So if that answers a question,
Oh,
Taylor, like just
oh.
yeah, it's just been so life changing, not just for my business, but in my life, right? With my family, obviously being a young dad, it's just like that hunger to like just give them that better life, right? They're my driving like force, and my wife has put in so many hours into the salon. It's a taxing career on the body, and it's just finally just being able to, I've had so many passions in the past, whether it's acting or playing sports. Like I finally found my thing, right? Like God was like, listen, everything you've experienced in life, whether it be in sports or even in acting in front of the camera, being around sets and just listening to directors, producers, PAs, whatever, the person getting coffee, like every little thing came together. And it's just like, oh, wow, like this is my calling. This is my purpose, right? So you two just played a huge role in that. And I can just not thank you enough. They're not paying me to say this, folks. You might be sitting there like, all right, how much they pay this guy like to say he was a former actor? This must be a commercial or something for them. It is not. I'm genuinely speaking from the heart. And if you know me out there, like you know my heart. And if you don't know me, if you want to reach out to me, we can chat about it some more. I would love to share my experience with Taylor and Kelly in the mastermind group. But yeah, I hope that did good. Did I do good with that? Was that good?
Oh,
That was
that's
so
no,
nice.
it was so above and beyond. And it is hearing all those words and like hearing, that, for people, okay, so for Taylor and I, we are business coaches, right? But more than that, we want to see people have a fulfilling life, right? And a profitability for their family. And like, I know that Taylor and I are both so proud of like how far we've come and the things that we've been able to provide for our family. And we want literally everyone to experience this too. Like everyone should have this business that creates your life, and your business is so interwoven together, right? And it's the way that the success of your business is in direct correlation to just the comfortability and everything within your life. And I do get a lot of people that hear about what Taylor and I are doing, and one of the number one things they say is, you're literally creating competition for yourself though. Like you're creating an army of people that are out to take like business from you. And I'm like, no, it's not like that at all. I literally never feel that way, because for me, I am building an army that have a really, really, really great life, that provide a great life for their family, for their kids. If you don't have kids, you're able to travel and fulfill yourself in that way. It's like, why would I not want to? That's what it's all about, right? Like it's literally the core of Level Up is community over competition, because the biggest thing that I get is you're just creating all this competition for yourself. And I'm like, no, we're creating a community for everybody, and for myself included, and for Taylor, and for you, Alex. And that's all I have to say.
There's so much, there's so much food to go around for everybody. There's enough to eat for everybody. For everybody. Like there's like 7-8 billion people in this world and counting. Like, no, like, I mean, yeah, it's that's one thing I love about what you two are doing and the culture you're building. It's community over competition, right? I mean, yeah, that mindset of competition only gets people so far, and they're doing a disservice to not just their business, but also I feel as a person too, because then now you kind of carry that weight and that mindset all throughout life, not just in weddings, and like you're blocking so many opportunities, not just business wise, but just opportunities to connect with people, learn from people, yeah, you know, yeah, it's definitely community over competition, guys. Like it's cliche to say, I'm sure it's been thrown around a lot, but it's there, it's said for a reason. So
Yeah. And the internet brings us together so beautifully, and it's so nice to have. And just for our final, not so subtle segue, if someone's listening to this and hasn't met you yet, Alex, but they would love to be in community with you, where can they find you and connect with you?
sure, y'all can find me at badonfilm.com, or just kidding. I always want to do that, like that voice.
That was like a way different voice. I looked over and then you had like a whole. You guys need it. If you're not watching on a YouTube channel, you're missing out. It's like a whole nother world over here. Yeah.
It is a fun world, folks. On Instagram, Vowed on Film, and also to like this side passive income stream that's also helped me take the load off of worrying about bookings right now. I don't think we even touched about this, but I just want to sprinkle it in. It's helped me find creating this like new stream of passive income has helped me focus more on the bookings that I want to do, raising my prices to where I want them to be, because now I'm not just relying on just bookings and having to take hits on, leaving money on the table and having to do weddings that don't really serve me, my family, because every minute I'm away from my family, my girls, like that's precious time that I'm not going to get back, that they're not going to get back. Right. So my time nowadays is valuable. Like I'm not just single anymore. I don't live in a bachelor pad or anything. Like I'm on hustle mode for my family. So anytime I got to step away from them, it's valuable. So I started this online business thing for digital marketing. If y'all want to check it out, it's Wealth with Alex. It's really cool stuff. I just learned digital marketing, how to market yourself and stuff. It's super applicable to any business out there. Been doing it for a few months now. Awesome stuff. But you can reach me out there if you want to learn more about it. But I just wanted to throw that in there. It's helped me so much with my wedding videography business. just giving me that breathing room to not be so fixated on gotta make a booking this month because we got stuff to pay and like it's just not coming in and we're struggling, and that's just so much stress that's not necessary. So yeah, Vowed on Film. That is obviously my business page. Y'all can go there. And Wealth with Alex. You can see more of my personality, my creative side, just how I like do edutainment is what it's called, like educational and entertainment stuff. You can just kind of see me there. Just also helping other people just create passive income, right? So they don't have to like be stuck at a 9 to 5 away from their families if they got kids and stuff like that. So that's a little bit about me, guys. We'll love to connect with anybody who wants to reach out and chat. As you can tell, I love to talk. So be ready for that. But yeah, I think that's it. Taylor, Kelly, I don't know if there's anything else, but was that it? Was that good?
I think that was perfect. We just want to say thank you so much for coming on, and we'll keep up with you and Wealth with Alex and Vowed on Film, and keep watching all the Lake Como content you're going to pump out because it's going to be great. We just know it.
I got so many other stories that I just got caught up the last week. I'm like, I still got to post all this stuff. So it's coming. It's coming this week for sure. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. Definitely look forward to the next one. And you two are absolutely amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. I feel like you're tapping into your calling and purpose. And, I truly believe just God places things on our hearts for a reason. And, you have that desire in you for a reason. You're pursuing it. You're doing it. So excited for you. I'm so happy to be a part of this community. I'm so filled with joy. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us in this conversation. If you enjoyed this episode, please help us reach more filmmakers just like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it on social media. Don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.